Hello, everyone. Welcome to La Suprema Lunch. This week, we are super fortunate to have Liz Pocock, the CEO of Startup Tucson, to share more about a community-led initiative called Remote Tucson. So Startup Tucson just launched this week, and we're super fortunate to have not only Liz, but other members of the team here today to share more about this initiative to attract remote workers to Tucson and benefit our economy. We're really lucky. We love Tucson, and I think Liz is going to just blow us out of the water with all the amazing things that are going on here and how we can convince our friends and colleagues and family members to move here.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Alex. Thanks for having me here. Hello, everyone on Facebook. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our new program called Remote Tucson. We launched yesterday. Hopefully, you have seen some of the posts in your feed, and that you're starting to share those, and you're thinking about who might be good candidates to come here. So Remote Tucson is a new project of Startup Tucson. That's real goal is to invite remote workers that are working in other communities and cities across our country, across the world, to discover everything that we love about Tucson and relocate here and call Tucson their home while still working for their current employers outside the city. And so a little bit of background on Startup Tucson. We are a nonprofit here in Tucson, Arizona. We are working to help entrepreneurs and startups get their businesses going, launch their businesses, help them every step along the way. We run a number of free networking events. All of those are online right now. I encourage you to check out our startup coffees and our startup bites that Kanisha and Sophia and our team put together. We have a number of free mentoring, connection service, and other sorts of programming. We also have our Startup Fundamental series that will come. Another class of that starts in January. So if you're thinking about starting a business, or you want to work on your business or pivot your business, I encourage you to check out our website and learn more about our kind of core programming. Another thing we do that will be coming this spring is our idea funding pitch competition. So if you already have a business that's up and running and you're ready to pitch that business to the community and win some prize money, our applications for that will start in January. So that's a little bit about Startup Tucson. Our kind of whole goal is economic development for Southern Arizona. So while we focus traditionally on entrepreneurs, we also are always looking at the innovation ecosystem, at how we build tech talent in our community, and at how we really enhance our mentor pool in our community. And so that was a lot of the inspiration around this new program called Remote Tucson. So, Remote Tucson is basically a coordinated community initiative that's designed to really entice these talented remote workers to relocate to Tucson permanently. We're looking for people that are in remote positions in other cities, that are in high paying positions in other cities. It's meant to be a platform that really invites them to both apply, check out our city, and then if they are selected, be connected with someone to help them in their relocation process. So the online application is live now. And this is kind of the messaging behind the campaign. So we basically say, are you ready to make a change? Are you tired of living in one of these maybe major urban hubs we're kind of seeing this through COVID and kind of through other things that, our age are kind of tired of some of these cities. You can't buy a home. Cost of living is really high. Some of the benefits that these cities have previously provided to you as a young professional maybe aren't as attractive anymore, and you're ready to make a change and look for a different quality of life. And all of us know and have chosen Tucson for some reason or another. So we kind of are hoping to get the word out and attract some of these people here. And so it's a combination of this messaging campaign, relocation assistance, executive perks and benefits, and I'll go into all of those later. And then really getting those people plugged into our community once they arrive. So why remote workers is kind of one thing to focus on. And so in terms of economic development, we know that remote work is not going away. We've kind of all heard those statistics. We've seen those articles coming out. We know that in recent studies, especially since COVID, most people are saying they would prefer some sort of remote work as part of their job, whether that's full-time or not. And so for a first time in a long time, talented young professionals are looking to kind of leave these major metro areas and work from smaller mid-sized cities. And companies like Twitter and Facebook and some of these larger tech companies are making announcements that they are maybe not going to bring their workforce back permanently in person. They're going to keep certain aspects of the remote components indefinitely, or at least for the next few years. And so we really felt like this was a good time for this initiative in our city. And so the benefits to Tucson for a project like this are really to boost our local economy. They're really to change the narrative of, what it is that you think about when you think of Tucson. We've been featured in a lot of different articles recently about being a tech hub and, all these different things that are really attractive. But we also get featured for some negative things in Arizona every once in a while. And we want to make sure that we're changing the narrative about Tucson as one that's really supportive for young professionals and tech talent, not necessarily just a snowbird town or not necessarily just a college town. So a program like this will really increase the number of younger demographic that's living here, will help kind of influx some new young professionals into our community. Maybe that, we hear the term brain drain a lot for what happens after somebody graduates U of A and then moves away. So this is really designed to help kind of increase that pool of people living in our community. And then one kind of secondary benefit is that we're excited that we have all these great partners, both PERC partners and economic development partners, that are helping to really bring this message, a kind of cohesive message about what Tucson is and what we have to offer forward. So remote workers really can have a positive impact for our community. Like I said, their annual economic contribution can be really high. So they're basically being paid by an employer that's outside of our city, and then they're spending those dollars on housing, travel, co-working, arts and entertainment, food in our city. So this is direct economic impact in kind of a hybrid traditional economic development standpoint. So most traditional economic development is about relocating large companies here and, bringing an Amazon that's going to bring 100 plus jobs. This is really at the micro individual level, but the impact is still really strong. So our program in particular, to be eligible, so it was kind of inspired by similar programs across the country. Tulsa has a program, Alabama has a program, Arkansas just launched a program. And so it was inspired by some of these other cities. Ours is similar to theirs. You need to be able to move to Tucson within 6 months. You need to have a full-time remote position at an employer that's based outside of Tucson. You need to be 18 years or older, and you need to be able to prove that you're both eligible to work, but also that you have that income. So you have to provide proof of income. And so in our pilot, we're going to pick 10 people to actually receive the perks and benefits and be selected to relocate here to Tucson. So our benefits are a combination of benefits, perks, and community kind of connections. And so in our benefit category, we're providing some relocation funds. So this is thanks to all of our program sponsors. But, we're providing $1,500 in cash to actually help you pick up and move. So that can cover your whatever you need, your deposit, those sorts of things, kind of up to you. So there's $1,500 in cash. We have a co-working sampler pack. Again, thanks to La Suprema is one of our partners for that. We also are partnered with Common, The Post, and Brings, Historic Brings. And in total, there's a little over 3 months of co-working. So once somebody gets here, they can go to the various locations, check them out, stay there for a month, try another one, try that one for a few days here and there. They can kind of decide how they're going to do it, and then hopefully choose one to have as their permanent co-working location moving forward. We know that co-working is really important to a lot of these remote workers to establish themselves in the communities that they choose to live in. We have partnered with Cox, and so they'll also get, in addition to their kind of co-working office time, they'll get a year of free gig internet at their home. So once they move in, turn that on, Cox will help pay for that for a year. They also will get, if they come to town with a partner that's maybe not a remote worker that would be looking for a job here in Tucson, we're working with a talent store, and they'll help provide career support for that partner. And then we're working with the very talented Adam and Len at Southwest Urban, and they are going to provide housing support. So when you're relocating, do they want to buy a home? Do they want to rent a home? Where do they want to live? And Len and Adam will kind of guide them through that process. And so for perks, one of the things that we committed to when we decided to do this program as we did our fundraising and kind of got our supporters on board, was that we really wanted to make a direct investment back in our local businesses. And so part of the perks is choosing experiences for them based on their individual interests and likes within our community. So one of those is a night out. So once we meet the person and decide, hey, you're coming to Tucson, do they like music? Okay, great. We're going to buy them a pair of tickets at the Rialto and dinner at Congress, or whatever, different stuff downtown, across town. So they'll get a night out on us. They'll get an attractions passport to kind of discover some of the pieces we love about Tucson. They'll get 3 nights at the new hotel that's going downtown. This one's to encourage them to invite their friends to come visit them once they get here. And then they'll get a local welcome basket with a number of products from all of our favorite, Dragoon and our local coffees and different sorts of things to really help them find things that they also love about Tucson. And then finally, one of the things that makes our program kind of unique is that we're placing a pretty high emphasis on these community connections. So when we're picking the people that are going to come as part of the pilot, we really want individuals that are both secure in their remote positions, but we also want to make sure that they're going to be people that really plug into our community and are excited to be here, so that they are likely to stay and they don't just come for a year and then leave. And so we are creating a welcome committee that has a number of ambassadors from across the community. The ambassadors you apply to be in that, and we answer a number of questions about all your interests as an individual. And then as we pick these 10 people, we'll pair them with somebody that's really closely aligned with them personally. And that person will then help them as they relocate, answer a number of questions. Oh, my kids need to go to this kind of school. What do you suggest? Those different things. Oh, I'm really into hiking. I'd like to join a hiking club. What do you suggest? And we'll kind of help them find their community here before they move and then as they get here. And Tucson Young Professionals is helping us with that process. So we're really excited about that. They'll also get a 6-month membership to TYP. So they'll be plugged in right away with the young professional community. And then we're also going to help them choose an arts and cultural membership. So this is, again, investing in our local community and some of our local organizations. They'll pick, if they like, again, live music, a Rialto membership will be one thing that's included in their kind of package and welcome package, so that they're immediately connected to some organizations that we know and love here in Tucson. So it started yesterday, officially launched. Thank you to all of you that have shared it so far. As of this morning, we had, I think, almost 800 website visitors, which is amazing. And we've already received, I think, almost 10 applications from all over the country, really, which is exciting. And some of those have been really, really qualified, the type of people that we really want to welcome to our city. So we've seen, applications from researchers that, went to school and got their PhD at U of A and then want to return. We've seen applications from developers in user design, working for different companies. We got one from DC, we got one from California. So we're seeing all sorts of stuff. One thing that makes a really qualified candidate is somebody that has a connection to Tucson somehow. So that might be because they know you, or they know family members here, or they've visited here. Those people will tend to want to stay here and really want to move here. They're not just doing it for the perks and the money. So we're looking for those types of qualified candidates. And that's why our social share is so important. So the first part of our campaign is snowball recruitment. We're starting local. This will then expand, hopefully through word of mouth, kind of viral. So if you are going to share it, tag people that friend that lives in Chicago that's complained to you for 6 years about how the winters, they just can't do it anymore. That's the person we want you to tag. So tag those people, tag people that are already working remotely somewhere else, and maybe want to change or have talked about needing a change. Now is a good time to kind of share that with them. We are doing some specific targeting marketing with our amazing MBA team that is volunteering from Eller for us. So we'll have some paid marketing, but we really are hoping that the snowball recruitment is a big part of our success of this program. And that's why we really think of it as a community initiative. Our kind of partners and sponsors. So we have the city of Tucson has been a big advocate of this program. They're actually the ones that learned about it externally at a conference and then said, hey, we should do this here. Startup Tucson, do you want to do this with us? So the city of Tucson, like I said, Cox, The county is also supportive, the Marshall Foundation, Born Companies, TEP, and I mentioned some of these others as PERC partners. And then we're working with Visit Tucson to help with our national campaign, Tucson Young Professionals, La Suprema, of course. And then some of our local economic development partners are really helping us get the word out. So Rio Nuevo, Local First, the Alumni Association is going to be an important partner for us on this. Like I said, if you have a connection to Tucson, so if you went to school here, getting you to think about coming back here is a good reason that we're excited to work with them. Our grand vision for this project. So like I said, this is a pilot. We wanted to start to see if it was going to work and see if people were excited about it and if we could get some qualified candidates to apply and decide to relocate. Our grand vision is that we would be able to do this for about 100 annual recruits. So we're really talking about a large economic impact for our city with this kind of direct annual dollars being invested into our community. And then reasons that it's important for us is then, you have these qualified candidates that are coming in from cities outside of Tucson. They bring with them a wealth of expertise and knowledge and can join our entrepreneurship community and our business community as mentors, as connections, and can really help spur innovation and kind of this tech growth that we're hoping to here in Tucson. And with that, if you'd like to get involved, we are obviously hoping you will help us share this. You can join the welcome committee if you'd like to be an ambassador and really help welcome these 10 individuals to our community. If you're looking at this and like, oh, I really want to be a sponsor, of course, we would love to have you, whether it's for this pilot round or as we grow the program. And if you're thinking you'd like to offer something to these 10 when they get here because you're a business owner, feel free to reach out and we would love to add additional perks to the package. To get involved, you can check out the website is live now. You can go to startuptucson.com/remote Tucson or remotetucson.com and it will relocate you. And you can email me directly at liz@startuptucson.com. And that's all.
That's amazing, Liz. That's so great. And first of all, congrats on launching and having such a successful launch. That's super exciting. And I was just so excited to hear about all the applicants so far and the diversity in applicants as well, in terms of location and the types of roles that they have currently.
Yes, totally.
That's just amazing. So when you were, I guess now we can open it up to questions. I have a question to get us started.
Okay.
And then as people have them, since we're a smaller crew, feel free to just go ahead and ask, or if you prefer me asking, just put it into the chat. So my question is, when you were looking for inspiration, which cities were you looking for inspiration from? And what did their programming look like? Like, what's kind of an example that you've pulled from?
Yeah, so we looked at, we did a lot of research. We looked at a number of programs. So they're the kind of flagship program, the city that I think that they would say that did it first, or maybe did it biggest first, was Remote Tulsa or Tulsa Remote. They do $10,000 in incentives. It's all cash, and then it's split over a year. So that was one program that we looked at. They also accepted 100 applicants right away. So they're kind of our inspiration of what we could get to. We looked at other programs like the Remote Shoals program. There's a program out of Chattanooga. Vermont does this a little bit differently. They don't accept only remote workers. They also accept kind of other type of workers, tech workers, into their ecosystem and then help them get placed into jobs. Ours is limited to just the remote worker side for now. They also, Arkansas just launched one. Theirs is 10,000 and a bike, which is kind of interesting. So it kind of depends on the area, what ended up in their perk package. We looked to a lot of them for inspiration, but then we modified based on some stuff that was specific to our region. So we really want our program not to be something that, you come and you take the incentive dollars to move for a year and then you look for your next 10,000 somewhere else. We really want the candidates that come to our program to see this as like we really want you here. So we've created some things to make it easier for you to move because it's hard to move.
Mhm.
So like, how do you create, and a lot of those things for young professionals are, how do I get connected into my community, especially in COVID times, right? It's
Yeah.
really hard. Like normally maybe you go to a coffee shop. Well, that's not necessarily the same, but you don't have those options anymore. So how to create this soft landing package that really takes into account the things that we think are really important, and that has been proven, through various research and young professionals moving and coming here, and what they cite testimonials is why they picked Tucson, all those things that make us really special as a city. We wanted to highlight those first and foremost, so that you're choosing to move here for those reasons,
Mhm.
not just the perks.
Right.
And we think that that's going to give us a lot better chance of permanent relocation instead of just like shopping around for incentive programs.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I bet there's a lot of ways that you could help encourage that by,
Yeah.
you can rent at first and then like a year later, like, have you considered buying? Like, where are
Yeah.
you in that process? And really following up with like those cohorts.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of the first questions, I mean, so the application is pretty extensive because we are trying to vet the 10 candidates really well to make sure we're choosing the best fit for our community. And so they, they can ask us questions, obviously, which we love when they ask like what different things about the city and those sorts of things. But then we ask a lot of specific questions like, how have you connected to your community in the past? What are types of organizations you like to be involved in?
Mm.
And we're looking at those questions in addition to just where do you work and how long have you been a remote worker, and some of those more kind of transparent things. And then some of the first questions we've gotten have been great, right? They're like exact kind of questions you want, like, what sort of experience am I going to have as one of the 10 that is chosen? How are you going to help me connect to my community and find friends? Like those are perfect
That's
questions.
awesome.
If you're
Yeah.
asking that, that means you actually want to connect to your community and you want to
Yep.
find friends. So
Yep.
we've been really encouraged. Like I said, it's only been a day, and we've been really encouraged by the few really qualified applicants we've already received. It's going to be
That's
hard to pick.
that's incredible though. I mean, to have that many applications in one day, and it's an extensive application. I mean, kudos to you guys. That's huge. That's awesome. And I think that's just shows one that there is definitely interest in Tucson, and you're gonna get a lot of applicants, I would imagine, because it's just the
Yeah.
beginning. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super excited to share this with a lot of my friends. And because uh Gina had just made a note here in the chat that I used to be a remote worker. When I first moved to Tucson, I was a remote worker. And so I actually have a lot of remote friends that I'm eager to share this with. But Gina said, since I used to be a remote worker, how would this have helped me? And this would have been incredible. I mean, this would have been such a game changer, especially if I were moving here alone. I moved here with Jose, the guy with the headshot there, but like it's so difficult to move to a new place.
Yeah.
I didn't have anyone here that I knew other than Jose and his crew. So this would have helped me in a lot of ways to, one, like, understand, okay, what are the neighborhoods in Tucson? Like, can I tell you what my interests are, and can you match me with a neighborhood that might be a good fit? Can you tell me like where to go get my haircut, and where I should like where I need to go to the doctor? Like, there's just so many things that moving to a new city can be so overwhelming, and having that support is just like there really isn't a price that you can put on that. Especially for people who are interested in the community in Tucson, and like the natural landscape, and what
Yeah.
Tucson
Yeah.
has to offer.
Totally. Totally. So
Um,
that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Totally would have applied for this if I knew about it a year and a half ago.
That's good. So see, we're gonna be here for the next Alex.
Yeah. Oh, it's very sweet. Yeah, it's really cool.
Cool.
Does anyone else have any questions for Liz, or need any more support in how to share this? Any Well, Liz, I do have another question.
Okay.
What are you and your team most excited about for this program?
All of our team, we love meeting new wonderful people. So I think, like, I'll personally, we probably are most excited to meet the 10 people that we decide to welcome to Tucson,
Yeah.
because I just think they're all going to be really exciting, like, new friends, basically. So we're really individually excited about welcoming those 10 people. I think for Tucson, we're excited about the potential of this program. The fact that you could bring, if we see the type of traction that we're really hoping for, that you could bring really qualified, great new people into our co-working environments, into our entrepreneurship space, that then become really great mentors and, again, peers and colleagues for a lot of our kind of aspiring innovation community, and that this will really kind of not necessarily jumpstart, but kind of like infuse new talent and infuse new ideas and really give us some, like,
Absolutely.
the applications that we're getting even so far are, like a UX designer out of DC, somebody that's, been um, working for Glassdoor out of California. Like, we're just seeing really great applicants that are going to bring different types of experiences and knowledge and work experience into our community. And I think that's really, really where Tucson could shine in this way, and that all of our entrepreneurs could benefit from it.
Absolutely. And you know what this sparked for me is you might see um like office hubs start to form here as well. I mean, that's something that we've noticed here just in our co-working space. We have a group that's they're based out of San Francisco. But they have a small team of 3 here and are growing to 4 now, just because they had a couple of remote workers here and they're like, oh, we can form a small office. And the same thing is starting to happen with another organization. They're like, we're looking to hire soon within Tucson. But he started out as a remote worker as well. So there's already evidence, and those are just 2 small examples from our small co-working space. So this is definitely something that's happening here, and I could see increasing.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is just super awesome. And then I have a last question. So,
Okay.
in terms of community involvement, for people watching this video, you mentioned that you could become a mentor or a part of the welcome committee. Can you just explain like what that might look like, what the time
Yeah.
commitment is, and give
Yeah.
that example?
So there's various ways. If you TYP is helping us organize that, like I said. So there's ways to be like very active in that. We anticipate that whether it's for the pilot or down the road, we'll do informational webinars. So you could be one of the people on that. There's different ways. Like we're already receiving, like I said, each application comes with a series of questions, helping us answer those. So there's ways to be like really involved as a volunteer. Or you can fill out the application and be more of like a program ambassador. Your role there is basically, as we get the 10 and select the 10, we'll come through those applications. If you are a good fit to pair with one of them, you would basically become their like Tucson buddy. Not all of our ambassadors will be paired because we're only picking 10, but if you're in that pool, that gives us a better chance of making sure that they find a really great match and friend. And then your role as a friend basically is to be their friend as they try to relocate here. So you'll start with Zoom calls, I would imagine, and you'll get to know them a little bit better and what their interests are. And then through our help and through TYP's connections and your own connections, you would basically help them try to find different ways to plug into our community, give them exactly that advice that you were talking about, Alex. What area of town should I live in if I like these sorts of things? Where should I get a haircut? Where should I get coffee? Like all those different sorts of things. And you're kind of their first go-to person. And then as they get here, we would hope that once COVID's over, you would like meet them for a beer and make sure that they feel like they're fully supported here. And so that's a great way to get involved at the welcome committee level. There is an application on our website that we can share when we share the video. And then there's also, just if you want to share, that's another way to get involved and support the program. So just like I said at the beginning, sharing the social posts, sharing the website with your friends, tagging them, encouraging them to think about the program, and think about Tucson as a place to move to and live.
That's awesome. That is so cool. Everyone tell your friends that
Tell your
Tucson
friends.
is amazing. Tell your friends, tell your friends. That's great. Super exciting. Well, if we don't have any further questions right now, I just want to take the time to say thank you, Liz. This is just like really breathing in like I think new air and fresh ideas. And it's really needed right now. So I think it's perfect timing. Thank you, and thank you to all the ladies at Startup Tucson for all the hard work you're doing to promote this. Um, we at La Suprema are very, very excited to get to host some of the the recipients
Yes.
and be part of that welcoming crew, to show them what we love so much about Tucson.
Yes. Perfect. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. And yes, major kudos to the Startup Tucson team, especially Dre. Dre built all the website and made the beautiful landing places and the videos and everything that's going to make it really welcoming place to apply and think about moving to Tucson. So
Yeah, and it's incredible, Dre. The website is so beautiful. I was telling Liz before we started this call, just like how amazing the video footage is and how user friendly the site is. It honestly, it makes everybody want to move to Tucson. I mean, maybe I'm biased, but like definitely, it's so attractive. So amazing job. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and go tell your friends to move to Tucson.
bye.
Bye.